Hey guys, what's going on? John from JTB Reviews here. We're gonna review Suicide Silence self-titled record. Just came out here, 2017, and we have to talk about this one with everything that's gone on with it. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. All right, Suicide Silence self-titled record came out February 24th. 2017, not too long ago. It's 45 minutes in length, and came out on Nuclear Blast. I believe it's the same lineup, same exact lineup. Eddie, Mark, Chris, Dan, Alex Lopez. 9 tracks in total, and I don't believe there is any. There's no guest spots on this one, which is kind of weird because they're totally so used to doing it. They're used to doing the guest spots. As in their last record, they had George Corpse Grinder. On the record before that, they had Jonathan Davis. So for them not to really do one, it's kind of weird. But we're going to have to talk about this one for sure. Where do I really start? This is the second record with Eddie on it, and no one really knew where what they were doing. They put out the single Doris, and everyone was just hating on, and they were doing like reaction videos, and it was literally crazy. I didn't get it. I honestly didn't mind the single. I just thought they were just kind of doing like a one-off type of shit, and this is what they decided to put out as the single. I was hoping the whole record wasn't going to be like that, because apparently there was like, it just goes nah, like the vocals just don't really add up to the song, and it is kind of awkward. But benefit of the doubt, though, it is a decent track. It's just not what we're used to. We're definitely not used to that. Second single came out, Silence, and it was pretty much like just a rehash of Doris. Is pretty much what it was. It was somewhat heavier. But, it was just, it's like, man, I really hope the whole record's not going to be like this. I hope not. Like, I hope it's just, they're just doing a few songs like this and, put it underneath the rug. This is not the Suicide Silence, I know. I mean, I knew they were influenced by Deftones a lot, and they have been, even when, Mitch was in the band, I knew that. But I didn't think they were going to go, like, full on, like, non-deathcore and... I mean, it sucks, and then they come out with a video for "Dying in a Red Room," and even the video don't even make sense. It's pretty much just Chris Garza, just pretty much like running around a bunch of cars trying to avoid getting killed by the rest of the band members who were like, I think Eddie's like a cop. Dan Kenny's like on the floor. Like, it was just an extremely awkward video. Didn't really have any sense to, I don't know. It didn't really mix well with the song. In the video, just kind of didn't really make any sense at all. So obviously, they had a lot of outrage going on. There was even a petition for the record label to not even put the record out, which is honestly pretty crazy, to be honest with you. Like, people are that mad. And, people are making death threats. I heard the Suicide Silence podcast with Jericho, and they're telling me, Eddie was explaining how he gets death threats, how people want him killed and his mom killed, and how he's the worst singer in the world, and he changed the band, and, Mitch Lucker died with Suicide Silence, and, just crazy stuff. And, I mean, this record, it's definitely a terrible record, obviously. but still, it's immature to make death threats just because of music. Don't get me wrong, I love music as much as the last person. I mean, I pretty much live for this stuff. But putting someone's life on the line and, threatening to kill somebody and take someone's life and their mother is just wrong on all levels. That's just wrong. So, come on, But let's get to the track listing. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. The only song that I honestly like on here is Hold Me Up, Hold Me Down. And that's because it does get really heavy. Eddie's vocals are definitely just fucking really heavy, goes deep. And you could definitely just hear how heavy they can really get and the power that they show that they hold. That even though they're doing this one-off record that I don't think they're ever going to do again, just because of the first week's record sales, which only did, 4,650 copies. It didn't really do a lot at all. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be doing this record again. I'm pretty sure after this we're going to get another You Can't Stop Me or something, a little different. If they do another one of these, they're going to end up going down the drain. And there's not going to be no more Suicide Silence. You're not, only the diehard fans are going to love them. But as far as like a career goes, if they keep this shit up, they're going to be going down. But yeah, that's literally the only track I really like. The rest of them are just, I don't know how to explain it. It's all just rehashed bullshit over and over and over. The vocals are just absolutely terrible, and the instrumentals are just bad. Nothing really fits well. Nothing really mixes well. It's just kind of, there's a little drum part here. Oh, there's some guitar here. Eddie's clean singing. Oh, he's kind of clean singing, but he's not. It's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't mix well. It's a very hard pill to swallow on this one. And I suppose if I had to rate it, I'm going to have to give it the production's really, really good. I'd say I'm going to have to give it a 5, if I had to be honest. I literally only like one song, and the rest of them are just kind of eh. This record is listenable. You can listen to it. It just all becomes sounding the very same. There's nothing really new about it. They took a turn for the worst, and, they think they're doing well. But I'm going to add one thing to this before I shut this review down. As the record was coming out, and the one Doris was out, the one single, and people were hating on it, the band seemed to act like they didn't really care. They were kind of being immature about it, and it just put a bad taste in my mouth. They did a video where they were reading hate comments from their videos, and they're just being sarcastic, and that's all fun and games until you look at your first week sales. I know you guys really don't care, but as a fan, I know you're doing what you want to do, but as a fan, I really want you to progress and grow. And I don't think this is the way to be doing that. You guys had a niche market. You guys were fucking kings of the deathcore scene. And now you guys just kind of took a step back, and I don't know if you're trying to just say fuck it, I don't want to do this shit no more, or if you're just running out of ideas. I don't know what's going on with Suicide Silence. Of course they're going to say, oh, we have to grow as artists. Yeah, there's a good way to grow, that's for sure. But look as an example, the Black Crown. You go from, No Time to Bleed to the Black Crown, 2 completely different records, but just almost as good. And, you didn't really sell out, and there is clean vocals on that. There's a way to go about this besides just going full on, non-deathcore, when you guys are the kings of it. That's like Tupac singing rap. He's a rapper, but then all of a sudden he goes to fucking pop and shit. Or, Tupac going into a metal band. There's just not... there's a way to do things, and this just was very poorly executed. I think if you slowly would have went into it, like if you would have did like Doris and then Silence, and did like 2 tracks and then left the whole record as like a full deathcore album, like You Can't Stop Me, and just add those 2 Doris and Silence, you would have got a pass. You would have got a pass. All right, but having a full blown record, it's just very poorly executed, and for that, it's gonna get a 5. I've listened to it 3 times. I've got my mind made up, and as much as I regret saying it, it is a 5. It's one of the worst records of 2017 so far, and it's sad. It's sad to say because Suicide Silence is one of my favorite bands. I got a signed poster from them from You Can't Stop Me. I buy their merch, and as a fan, I just want to see them grow, but I just don't want to see them, die as a band. I don't want to see them become like a Wasp, where 20 years down the line they're playing little small clubs and they look like shit and they can't play the shit no more. It's not what I want. I'd like to see them grow and grow and grow and just get better and better and better. But this whole Deftones shit just ain't working. So, alright, well, that's my review for the self-titled, and I'm gonna get to bed, guys. I'm pooped. So, see you guys later. See ya.